Welcome to the EatMyUke ukulele channel, where today we are learning to play Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. So let's waste no more time and get into it. One of the main things that's going on in this arrangement is the melody line that runs throughout the song, and that goes like this. Sounds alright, but it's a little bit boring, so we're going to try and zhuzh it up a little bit, make it more exciting, and just generally make it much more fun to play. So, we're starting with this chord, which is open on the first string, open on the second, open on the third, and using your first finger on the second fret of the fourth string. Give that a little strum, and then pull your finger off to open. Like this. And what we're doing next is going to try and recreate the sound of a snare drum using this hand. And to do that, after we've done the open, we're going to bring our fingers back and just cover the strings with them, so it creates a dead sound on the strings. So we'll get this. And all you're doing is just whacking the strings, every single one, to make the snare sound. And that's going to be the same thing throughout the whole arrangement. So something you can do to help you just get in the zone of doing that snare is just keep repeating that first thing. Just so you can feel the groove and the rhythm of it. So next you're hitting the same chord, but this time you're using your fourth finger on the fifth fret of the bottom string. And the snare. So combining them two, you'd get this. And again, just feel free to repeat that section just till you get real comfortable hitting the snare drum. Next is a new chord, and that is this one. And using your first finger on the second fret to bar all the strings. If you're not familiar with a bar chord, it's just using one finger to hit every single note on them frets. And I'm using my thumb, and I'm just pinching the neck a little bit. Not super tight, so my other fingers can't move, and not too weak, so the notes aren't clear. Just the right amount of firmness. Then you're using your third finger on the fourth fret of the first string, second finger on the third fret of the second string, and then you've got them two notes that you're barring at the bottom. So give that a strum, making sure to hit that bottom note. That's the most crucial part of this chord, because that's part of the melody. So give it a strum, and then using your pinky on the fifth fret of the third string, hit that. And then the snare. Then you're hitting the same chord again, except this time your pinky's going on the string below it on the fifth fret. And what's good about this chord is when you're doing your snare sound, you don't have to put your fingers like that. You can just real slightly lift your fingers off the strings, and that's going to dead them, give them that dead sound. Combining the first two chords together, you'd get this. And again, feel free to just keep repeating that just to get in that zone of like snare drum, snare drum, snare drum, and it'll just make it way easier. And once you do get into a groove, it's just a real fun little exercise because you're moving your whole body, and your whole body just gets into the groove and the rhythm. So next is this chord, and that's open on the first string, using your second finger on the second fret of the second string, open on the third string, and 2nd fret of the 4th string using your 3rd finger. So give that a little strum, then lift your finger off to open, and then you're adding the snare too. Straight after the snare, you're playing this chord, which is the same chord, you're just lifting off this finger, which is already off anyway because of the note you just played. And of course you're adding that final snare of that little section. So let's combine them 3 together. Cool, and this is the final chord, and this is the end of the loop. And it's similar to the last chord, except this time you've got your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Now, at this point, there's a few options of how you can end it and then join it into the next loop. You could either just strum the chord, because it's one of them nice sounds where it's like, it sounds good on its own, but it's a bit questionable too. So it's like, oh, there's something next. And it is, it's just repeating. All right, or you could give it a little strum, like this. What I like to do, which is super fun and looks way more difficult than it actually is this. Alright, and that's real simple. Looks fast, but it's not that hard. All you're doing is playing this chord. And that's your 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the 2nd string, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and then open on the bottom string. And using these 3 fingers, you're just working your way up the strings twice, and then hit the bottom one. Alright, and ideally you do want to play it fast, but it just all depends on what your snare drum's saying. Like, how fast are you playing the song? You could be playing it real slow. Or you could be playing it super fast. So let's play through it together a few times using this technique. We'll start off really slow and then we'll move up faster. So let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the speed at which you want to be aiming for, which is this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's that, Ariana Grande, Thank You Next on a ukulele. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and it wasn't too difficult for you. On this channel, I really like to teach things that are a bit more advanced than what you maybe have tried before. Just because when I first started learning to play the uke, it was really difficult to find tabs and arrangements and tutorials that really pushed it and was just a little bit different than just like strumming chords, which is fair enough. If you wanna if that's all you wanna do, then cool, but I know a lot of people really wanna try and see where they can go with the ukulele. So yeah, I'm aiming to bring you lessons that will do that. If you're new around here, please feel free to subscribe for some more in the future. If you want to learn some more Ariana songs, I actually just recently arranged a full Thank You Next album. So you can get the tabs to that entire medley mashup on my website, EatMyUke Premium, and you can also get the backing tracks too. And that's every song on the album, a little section of it. So there's a link down below if you want to check that out, and I'll see you next week for more tutorials and albums on a ukulele.